everybody, the iLord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play OpenTTD. So, we were looking for the auto-renew feature, and it turns out I upgraded this at first, and it seemed that I couldn't find it because we were on basic settings. So we go to vehicles, and it's missing. Well, what we can do here is we can go to advanced settings, go to auto renew, and there it is. This happens to be exactly what we need to get our thing going. We don't even set a limit here, a limit which we are able to easily take care of. But we will do that. And we will simply let this go as so, and hopefully everything will get renewed pretty soon. We have lots of good things here for us to do. Now it occurs to me that we have a bit of an issue that we want to take care of, well, really a couple. You see, as it turns out, let me just pause the game real quick. This guy is not producing at all. That is a bit of a problem, because this factory will disappear if we don't get to producing. Meanwhile, this guy has a ton of oil and mail that we need to take care of, and passengers. Let's not forget passengers. Unfortunately, there's an issue with doing the passengers this way, and so we're going to leave that as is for now. Main thing we want to do is we want to connect this farm down here so that we are able to get some livestock and some goods going. And we will of course connect into this Ro-Ro station up here. We're about the perfect distance away, so I'm going to let that happen. Everything should auto-replace on its own while we are working on everything, so why don't we just get this guy set up. I don't think in terms of a farm we're going to be able to do much in terms of traffic, so I'm just going to go ahead and create a little 2x2 track here. And we will just get this guy going. And we don't need a clover leaf here at all, we just need something here in the way of raised land. And there we go. Unfortunately, there will be things that we must deal with here. But having a terminus station here is a good idea because it's compact. And we can get this guy set up very easily. Other things we might want to entertain, we're getting these guys here facing the proper way, or at least getting this depot here so that we can recover stuff. And I'm going to send a train out on its way to do really two things. Now at this point we've got we've got several things we can do. The first of which is we want to get ourselves a separate livestock car going. The reason I'm separating these out has to do with the fact that we really do need to, we'll full load this guy and we'll go to this guy here. Yes, I know we're missing orders. That's something we'll just have to deal with. We want a separate car for the UU-37 as well, and that will contain our grain hopper as well. So we will full load this cargo, and then we will go here. This will keep this guy happy. Now what's going on here? Let's just center on this vehicle. Ah, yes, I think there has been a minor issue with our routing here. Possibly, anyhow. You see, we happen to have right now an interesting thing going on where, well, really that should be routed properly. I don't know what the issue is. I think maybe we could do well to add another signal there. And you can see we are now rapidly expanding our network. We need some other things as well. We've been neglecting our trees. And we need to create a new tree car. We could also do well to add other things as well. Well, if we go here and we add a wood car here, we go down to the station here, let's just clone this vehicle and we'll get them both going. Now Nodham is growing quite substantially, enough to where I think it would make good sense for us to intercept. Oh, let's see what's going on here. We've got another interesting issue here. We have some signaling issues that we need to take care of. Which, as it turns out, is quite important. And we did not make much in the way of profit last year, but that'll be okay. These new trains, I think, are probably going to get us about to be where we need to be. For now, we need to go through and find the goods train that is causing us significant R. Now you'll see here we actually do have a bit of a problem that we're going to have to deal with shortly. Two problems, in fact. The first is we have this railroad track here that we want to get rid of. The only way for us to really do that is for us to put a bridge over it. Likewise, these guys here will attempt to build over the rails here, and that could cause issues that we are not all that thrilled about. And while we're at this, I think it would be good for us to put down one of these guys here. Now, before too long, we should get a metropolitan airport. I think that's in the 80s that we get that. But let's do something to expand these guys, because as it would turn out, we're, we could do better here. And I'm just going to shore up our road network some. Just a little bit anyhow. With the idea that even though it might not be entirely profitable for us to serve these towns, we should. Must remove. Oh, yes. Let's see what we did here. We'll go to Kenningville and then back to Pondhead Cross. And let's get some vehicles going. Finally, we'll timetable this to where they're auto-filled. Or maybe somewhere along the way we'll put in a depot just in case. Oops. Well, it might help if I put it the right way around. In fact, a depot in every town is probably not a bad idea at this point, so that there's always a place for them to stop by. We have road vehicle 1 here. Let's add one more thing to the shared orders. We want Mattingston. And there we go. Have you ever seen a road network that was so well designed? My guess is probably. Because it doesn't take a complete fool to design these, nor does it take a complete genius. Let's make sure these guys are signaled properly. And let's make this a one-way. So we have a lot of traffic now. A lot more than I really intended on having. And how is our production this month? Our production is okay. We are making a ton of money from this. And that'll be good for us. So I'm going to do a couple of things here in order to make this guy a little bit more efficient. The first of which being is I'm going to connect this line here so that we can turn around and merge. This is going to be something that we are going to get rid of eventually, this line here. Because there's really no purpose in having it. We have numerous other things we'll want to do here, which will of course include the production of steel. Incidentally, this method that we're using seems to be working out quite great. We'll just put another station in here. And maybe we'll figure out how to route that properly. This will be another terminus station. And this will allow us to come back over here and merge into this main line here. Other things we will probably want to do at this point is maybe consider the idea that we're oh wow, this is actually a fairly good spot, I think, for a wood gathering station. We'll make this one roll on, roll off. Now, there are other things as well, like the fact that if we go up to the station up here, we really could use something in the way of Mel, because now we got a ton of passengers, first of all, and that's no good. We have other things as well. If we go up here, we're going to need a ton of trains to make up for the fact that, well, we do have plenty of livestock here. But you can see we have these guys here. We need a little bit different of a destination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new diesel train, one to deliver just passengers. Although I think, oh, we're doing pretty good so far. Look at how much income we had. We'll actually throw in a mail car there. And we go down here. We will be okay. Let's clone these vehicles. I'll get 4 of them going, and we'll, because these guys are on shared orders, we'll timetable them. That will, unfortunately, there we go. That will unfortunately cause us some issues in the long run. Let's get ourselves, in addition to this, let's get ourselves more wood collection going. And we will, of course, need to go down here to our goods production super center. Now, how are we doing on passengers? We need more planes. And soon, I reckon. So we have a number of options here. We have the air taxi, which can take lots of passengers, but I think this guy would be better. We'll buy a Guru Galaxy here, and we will go to the airport here, and then transport him over here, maybe. So we've got that. We want to clone this vehicle. And I forgot to share orders, but that's okay. Let's just see how our production is going here. We have tons of goods here that we will want to transport. Let's see, do these guys accept goods? The answer to that is yes. We'll full load that, and we'll get it going. And now this route is very heavily taken here. Which means it may be time for us to upgrade this to more lines. What we'll do for now, and this is always the trouble here, but we'll kill these guys since we have alternate paths that we can take. And we will just get ourselves this cloverleaf built. And same with this guy over here. And we got a train coming in, so we do need to take care of this. I think, however, we'll be okay for now. We can at least get back over here. Let's see if we can't do anything to... But leveling the lands is probably not a bad idea here. Not that we really need much here, but we do need this turn. And there we go. Let's just get some signals up now. And there should be plenty of paths to continue. Now I want to route this in such a way that, or I'm going to continue routing it rather in such a way that it is amenable. We have congestion of some kind. Low balancing can be a big issue here, and it's something that we really need to address because now we have bottlenecks. Tons and tons of bottlenecks, as it turns out. And there we go. I'm going to take this out for now because we no longer need it. And we'll now have an alternate line back here. We've got tons of money. We're really rolling in the dough now. Land is sloped in wrong direction. Let's see if we can't rectify that. You got this dip here that I think we can fix as well. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, shaping up to be a fairly complete network. This should maybe alleviate the bottleneck. Though, there's really no telling with something like this. Trending Hall Woods is doing better, at least. And unfortunately, we can't really do much at this point for this guy, because I don't think we can place it. Well, we got flat land, but we got Punboro East. We can't attach to this other guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a separate station. And then a tramway between the two. And we will just simply unload all of these passengers out. Kedborough North is making us a substantial amount of money, I do have to say. And it should definitely show. Now what you're about to see is us taking Punboro East and creating a tram between these two that will alleviate some of the guys here. Some of this issue that we have, which is we have tons of passengers waiting here. For east, we will completely unload these guys. And because there's so much in the way of mail, we'll just get these passengers waiting here. I believe the Guru Galaxy was an alright deal for us overall. So we'll go here and we will go to our airport here, which we do want to upgrade pretty soon once we get metropolitan airports, because this place is growing quite substantially. If we look at Prunborough, okay, let's go here. We're not going to load any passengers at this point. There's a patch that actually makes this sort of thing a lot more profitable. But we haven't implemented it yet. Let's see if our rating is increased here. Local authority says we are outstanding. Well, I'm going to agree with them. Let me just see how we are for time. We got a little bit of time left. The trouble is, if we look at Prunborough East, we still don't have much in the way of passengers. I think it just takes us trying to rectify these issues. That means that we can take some of these deals here and full load them. I think part of the issue is that these guys are going back and forth. And in reality, they can take the bus. So we will not load any cargo. Here, we want this guy to build up. But look at that, we're almost at 1 million. And our passenger trains can be repurposed now. How are we doing on our production, by the way? We should be doing fairly well. We have lots of goods that we're producing now. We like having goods. You know, at this point, we could even fund a bank. Though sometimes our banks, well, we did lose our one. Oh no, we have that bank there. We can still produce a ton of goods. We are over 1 million right now in terms of our deal. In fact, let's have a quick look at our rail network here, because I think this is something to be a little bit proud of. And before too long, we can go to these industries. We can actually create another oil refinery. Given our proximity, it might actually make a little bit of sense. But that requires a little bit over 1 million, and I do want to leave some room in the bank for that. Other things we can look at here is we can create a channel up here as well. Now, one of the things I want to do here is improve our plane network. And we just happen to be in a good place to do that. I think that if we are very careful about this, we should be able to do just that. Let's see if they will permit us to build here. If not, local authority does not allow it. Well, that's okay. We can get around the local authorities, at least for now. And we'll add valuables to the list of things that we can add. me just get this guy going here. Okay, that appears to be a little bit too much for these guys. Incidentally, we can fund that industry now. And so let's do that. Well, maybe next time. For now, I think it would be sufficient. For us to get these guys around town. And get ourselves growing. And at some point we will have to solve these congestion issues here, because as it turns out, there's little we can do about this. And that, of course, means a number of things for us. I eventually, I think, want to kill this track. Let's go over to this other city here. Let's see if our ratings have improved. They should. We are an awesome company, and I think they should recognize that for what it is. The local authorities don't seem to agree with us. But they will soon enough. Let's autofill these guys so that they're on a timetable. Oh, Graham, we can't remove the road we just added. And of course, we know what this means. This means increasing forestation so that when they destroy things, it's their fault, not ours. Local authority still says we're atrocious. As for why, I'm not entirely sure. We do have a couple of other things here that we can deal with, and when we plan this out, eventually we will want to hit these long haul segments here. And so, until then, we've just got to continue planting our trees. And it looks like we've hit our tree limit. Did that help? Very poor. We are making progress. There we go. That should be enough for us to build our airport. And that'll be very good for us. Because now we can retrofit one of these planes, two of them really, to do two things. The first is we want an aircraft we have this Batewell Locket here. I think it'll be good for us to go between these guys here and we will just do that. But we also want something that can be refitted to valuables. And we'll take this guy here. We'll get this refit to valuables going. will travel between our two places that serve valuables. The first being this guy right here. And then if we go to non-tome, oh wow, we have quite the traffic jam here. Let's get an armored car, a couple of them going. And we will just get it to go between here well, it looks like we need to build one more thing before we do that. This place is becoming quite congested. And why don't we duplicate this as well? And get these two guys going. Put them on a timetable. And this guy can get going as well. And that leaves us in a pretty good position to think ahead to the future, because now we have a few $1,000,000 to worry about. And when the time comes for it, and it may already be time, might be the 1980s, we're going to upgrade this airport. This airport will become a metropolitan airport. We just take a look at the our planes here. We want to make sure to unload all and transfer is what we'll do. And I reckon now if we go up here to our airports, we do have a ton of stations now. We got 32 bags of valuables going. Valuables are a good thing to have. In fact, one of the things I'm going to want to be able to do here is provide some valuables. Let's just create a bridge over here so that we can get this guy going. Lo and behold, we have congestion issues. We have major congestion issues. Oops. Let's get this guy back in so we can do something about it. And we need to make this station, I think. This will be our last time we go here. We'll balance some of this out because this has become obsolete. So I think we're doing pretty good so far. We are really growing our empire at this point. And all we have to do now is maybe we can get a waterway attached to the woods here. And we can get, as a final deal, we can get some ferries going between this guy. And go between here and here. And that covers all major types of things here. Operating profit is up by far. Non-TAM is accepting goods. And before too long, when the 80s hits, we will upgrade this airport up here, this non-TAM airport, to be a bit bigger. So until then, this has been the iLord Root, and I will see you later.